Everyone. Welcome to the first meeting of the new year of Economy Infrastructure Service Transformation Committee. Welcome everybody this year and everybody online. And congratulate Rylan again for being Vice Chair. So well, before I go into that, I don't know if you've noticed that we've dropped down in numbers this year. And we've lost Penny Matthews, who was turning up regular, so we will miss Penny this year. And then item 1 is apologies for absence.
Thank you, Chair. We have apologies from Councillor Nicola Matthews.
Thank you. Any disclosures of personal interest? No. And then to approve the minutes of the previous meetings as a correct record. And that's just page 1. Was our first meeting to choose the chair and vice chair. Okay, thank you. Straight on to item 4, which is terms of reference. You've all had a copy of the terms of reference. It's the same for each committee, and it starts off by naming the 5 service transformation committees. Then it goes on for the purpose of these committees, and on membership and frequency of meetings. Just to highlight that this year the frequency has gone from 4 weekly to 6 weekly. One of the main reasons for that is that during last year we were trying to get informal working groups in between committees, but when you meet every 4 weeks, it's very difficult to get a meeting in between which is suitable to officers and members. So by 6 weeks we'll have that extra 2 weeks grace to put in any meetings that come along. You see the remit of not only our committee but all the others on page 3. You see ours, which we'll refer to when we get to the work plan, which we should come on later on. And that goes through. Then we got relation with cabinet. It's been pointed out now this year we'll have much more meetings with the cabinet members and officers to set our agenda and whatever we decide to do. And then they pointed out, which I have many a times, on the relationship with scrutiny, which I got to remind Mike White that we are not scrutiny. We are looking forward, because Mike likes to look back. So that's just pointing that out. And then go into the support we get, which is from Dem Services, which is Sam there. And I got to thank her for last year, because she dug me out of many a hole last year, and I more than likely she'll do exactly the same this year. And then every time we set a piece of work, we will be allocated certain officers who I will then liaise with, which it started last year with Mr. Phil Holmes, and everything was on his shoulders, although he's not going to get away with it again this year. So I'll be still on one of his shoulders, but then we'll have another officer who then we can talk to, and then hopefully we'll get things through quicker. So that's the terms of reference. I don't know, has anybody else got anything to add or say something about the terms of reference? No, same as is most years. So straight on to 5, which is the work plan. Before I go through the work plan, I don't know if anybody has got anything they want us to discuss, and then I take it back to cabinet member and we put on the work plan before I go through. No. Like I said, most of our work plan was in the terms of reference, so referring to them, and more than likely most of the things I'm going to mention we started last year. So looking at first of all on the work plan, we don't know where we're going to slip these in yet. This depends on officers' availability when the reports are also available. So we continue with Tower Riverside Corridor, and it was agreed last year that we, along with the officers, develop an action plan in terms of future priorities. Then look at improvements and grant opportunities, and the potential for any transport opportunities, including the metro, river taxis, etc. We'll carry on with a piece of work, as this area will become one of Swansea's main tourist attractions in the future. So we'll stick with that. Then I got we've got the Swansea Bay Strategy Project. It was agreed that one of our last meetings that I would arrange a workshop, which is a bit difficult at the end of last year, because then I wasn't chair until I was picked chair for this one, so you couldn't actually do anything in the interim. But since then, I have spoken to the cabinet member and to officers, and we're looking for a workshop to start within the next couple of weeks. The only thing I want to discuss with you is the timing, because we were looking at these workshops to start around 4 o'clock. A couple of things is that there's a better chance of having officers at 4 o'clock than we would in the morning, because like everything else, most of your work is done in the morning and straight after dinner. So I was thinking, if we hold these workshops at 4 o'clock, there'll be more parking space outside and a better chance of getting the Gloucester room provided it's working. But so if we'll agree that what workshops we do arrange, we'll do them at 4 o'clock. Yep. Okay. Thanks for that. And the other one of the others then was a destination management plan, which could include, you know, things like holiday hotels, Airbnb demand, which is rising, and then future tourism offerings, which at this moment in time we talk about Skyline. In future we got the aquarium, then we got Penderyn, which is about to open. We can incorporate all this around. So that's what we don't know where. Obviously, we don't know where they sit. The other thing that we've been looking at is review of council house allocation policy. The cabinet member for housing approached me and we discussed that. It hasn't been looked at for ages. So I don't know if you've been on the Swansea site and put down housing allocations. I didn't realise how large it was. So, you know, that'll be a big piece of work, and a couple of things that obviously the cabinet member will join us in that and bring some things forward for us to look at. The other new thing that was in the plan was the maintenance of road infrastructure, and that's looking how we get the most impactful approach on our roads, which will bring in potholes. The patch team look at how we're going to move forward with these and resurfacing, and plus then how we can better communicate the things that we do with the road infrastructure, because as it is now, we go out, nobody knows anything about it until afterwards when they want to complain. And then we got the local development plan. We had a report to us in January, which said we should be moving forward and looking to produce a new LEDP for Swansea. So that was part of our recommendation in January, and then I'll follow that up to see where we can go. Once we get a written report, we'll slot that into one of the months then. And lastly, back on to housing, the More Homes Delivery Programme. I was looking for this topic to be introduced last year, but nobody knew where it actually sat, so it didn't go anywhere. So I was like, again, I've spoken to the cabinet member, and this is something we've been looking to put into our work plan for this year. So as you can see, there's about 7 topics there, which is a heck. I'm not saying we're going to do them all, but you know, there could be sometimes where the report will take longer than when we discuss it. So I hope you're happy with those items. And there are a couple of people missing here today who I thought might have come up with some ideas, which they normally do. But there we are. And funny enough, because I did see Will Thomas coming in when we came in, didn't we? So I don't know whether he's trying to get into the Gloucester room. I don't know. So, but if there's nobody want to make any comments on that work plan, you think it's a hefty piece of work? Right, then. So what it is between now and oh, sorry. Yeah, Phil Holmes has got his hand up. So Phil, over to you.
Yeah, I was just going to comment on the work plan. I think it's it's a well-balanced work plan. It's, you know, the objective of this this committee is to look at the economy and infrastructure, and they certainly do represent the economy and infrastructure. And I think it's a good balance between the strategic stuff and perhaps some of the operational activities of the council as well. So yes, Chair, I think it's a well-balanced work plan for the year ahead.
Okay, thanks for that, Phil. I put my tablet on, see the hands coming up, and I didn't see your hand coming up. So anyway, thank you very much for that. So nobody else got anything to say on the work plan? Right, we'll start. Huh? Right, we'll start that rolling now within the next couple of weeks to see where they sit within the monthly work plans, and I'll speak with Phil Holmes and a couple of other officers about that. Okay, we've got date and time of future meetings. You've had those. I had them as well. So are we happy with them, and are we happy with the time? Those are the two things. Well, the dates have been put in the diary. So is everybody happy with 2 o'clock? Right, and like I said, it is now. It is, yeah, I got it here. Yeah, it'll be 2 o'clock, and then we'll see where we go from there. What we can put in between. Okay, everybody happy? And that's it. Thank you very much. All meetings won't be like this, I can assure you. Okay. Thank you very much.